This assignment that we're going to do is based on the carbon footprint. But I want to tell you that school is important by itself because school teaches you knowledge about things, and it also sparks curiosity. If you become interested in ecological footprints, maybe you can pursue this topic a little bit more on your own. And hopefully this will just make you a better global citizen and use your resources. But it'll also directly benefit you because you'll be using less resources and it costs less. So you'll be able to spend your money some other way than wasting it, than some of the ways that we waste it. All right. So I'm doing this assignment as a student, and I'm going to go into first period as a student, and I'm always going to do the first assignment that's at the top of the page. This one is the ecological footprint assignment. The directions are to type on the document by opening it with Google Docs, and when you register on the website, use a nickname and not your last name. We're going to use Prairie Seeds Academy as our school. Once we're done, make sure to attach your document that you typed on when you turn it in. Here's a video if you need help doing that right there. There's the link to the video. Now I'm going to open the assignment on, and I'm just going to open that into a new page like that. This assignment is already opened in Google Docs, and so I can start typing on it right away. Okay, and so you'll put your name and continue on by putting your period and your grade. Okay, the content objective is that students will be able to calculate their carbon footprint to identify their ecological impact. And the learning objective is students will be able to summarize in writing how their carbon footprint affects the environment. Vocabulary. A carbon footprint is the total amount of carbon dioxide you're responsible for releasing into the atmosphere, directly, like through driving a car, and indirectly, through the things you use and or purchase. Our primary footprint is the CO2 that you directly release into the atmosphere, such as from driving a car. And the secondary footprint is CO2 that is emitted from things that you use or purchase. For example, if you eat a steak, your secondary footprint would include the amount of fossil fuels burned to raise the feed corn, ship the cow to market, and package it for sale. Step 1. We're going to watch the following video to learn about the ecological footprint, then watch another video to learn about ecological footprint of a sandwich. Yep, a sandwich. Step 2, we're going to go to this website and calculate our ecological footprint. And I'm going to go through and calculate mine. And when I do that, I want you to calculate yours and not mine. Don't use my numbers, but use your own. Then we'll type our number here for how many tons of CO2. And then we'll write a statement about how do we compare to other people. We'll answer the question, what aspects of our life increases your and your family's footprint the most? We'll provide an example of how your carbon footprint affects the environment. Step 3, we'll define the following terms in our own words and primary, secondary, and ecological footprint. Here are some definitions of those. I don't see the definition for ecological footprint yet, but we'll find that out probably when we watch the videos. Next, we're going to watch another video to learn how to reduce our carbon footprint and list 10 things that we can do to reduce our carbon footprints. Step 5, we'll write a 100-word reflection on how humans affect the environment and provide at least 2 examples from the videos. So while I'm watching the videos, I'm going to need to get 2 examples for this section and what you learned or what surprised you and what surprised you. What would you change to help the environment, and what would you teach other people? And we'll have at least 100 words here. Okay, so I'm going to go back now and follow the directions. I'm going to go to step 1 and I'm going to watch the video. And so I'm going to click on the link and YouTube's going to open up. And I'm watching the video.
Our human activities consume resources and produce waste, and nature needs to have the capacity to meet these demands. The ecological footprint is a way to measure our human demand on nature. Every one of us has an ecological footprint. The footprint represents the impact of a person, a household, a city, a business, or a country on nature. Things like food, energy, transportation, goods and services all contribute to our ecological footprint. The footprint is expressed as the amount of land and water required to produce what we consume and to absorb the waste we generate. By measuring the ecological footprint, we can assess the pressure our lifestyle puts on the planet. This helps us to manage our ecological assets more wisely and to take personal and collective action.
So that's the first video. And now I'm going to watch the second video. This is the one about the sandwich.
People are always talking about the carbon footprint of cars and deforestation. But what about something simple like my lunch, this delicious BLT sandwich? What path did it take to reach my plate? What footprint did it leave on the planet? Luckily, scientists have mapped out every step of this sandwich's journey. Let's start with the slices of bread. For this much bread, you just need a 10 by 10 inch square of soil, a single serving field. A tractor plows this tiny field, burning a single drop of diesel and releasing a puff of carbon dioxide, about enough CO2 to fill a pint glass. The tractor comes back, this time to plant the seeds. Another drop of fuel, another puff of CO2. It's time to add a little fertilizer, about half a tablespoon. You'd probably use a tractor to spread that fertilizer. But there's more. That fertilizer was brewed up in a factory, creating a couple gallons of CO2 in the process. Some of that fertilizer helps the wheat grow, but some of it is broken down by microbes in the soil. They belch out the equivalent of another gallon of CO2. Now, it's harvest time. Our little field has yielded a third of a cup of grain. Now come a bunch of steps that require electricity that comes in part from burning fossil fuels. Time to dry it, drive it to the mill, and grind it into flour. Then on to the bakery. A little water, sugar, yeast, each with their own carbon journey. And into the oven. Our slices are put into a plastic bag that was also made in the factory, and shipped off to the store where I picked them up. Every step took a little bit of carbon that was in the form of fuel and put it into the atmosphere as CO2. You can see the biggest chunk of carbon comes from the fertilizer. But wait, that's just the bread. We could follow the leaves of lettuce from their field, the tomatoes from their nursery, all the ingredients in the mayo. Each journey puts a little more greenhouse gas into the atmosphere. But the biggest footprint comes from those 4 strips of bacon. Not only do we have to raise, process, and transport 1/1000th of a pig, we have to cultivate the plants to feed that pig. To get this one sandwich, we've released 800 grams of CO2. That's enough gas to fill 100 of these gallon jugs. Eat one of these sandwiches every day for a year, and you'd release the same amount of CO2 as you would if you drove a car from New York to Chicago. It turns out this simple sandwich isn't so simple. Of course, nothing is. You can ask Skunk Bear your science questions by following this link. Watch our last video here, and please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.
Okay, so we watched the videos to learn about our ecological footprints and ecological footprint of the sandwich. There's another website that we're going to use to calculate our carbon footprint, our ecological footprint. Okay, so I'm going to use this. Remember, the directions said to use a nickname, so I'm not going to use my name here. I'm going to use a nickname. So, and I'm going to register. And of course, they're already using, so I'm going to use my name, but I'm not going to use my last name. And I'm thinking across the country there are a whole bunch, thousands of John D's. So I'm going to be John D that was born in 1961. That will work. It says I'm a boy, and my birthday, I'm gonna be one of my students, and so my birthday is in January, and I want to be 11 years old. 2000. Let's make it about that time, 2008. So that makes me 12, doesn't it? Okay, and I'm from Prairie Seeds Academy. Prairie Seeds Academy. Like that. All right, and so I'm just going to answer the questions here. Travel. How will I get to work? If I'm one of my students, I probably go by the bus or by a school bus. By city bus, walk, bike, ride, go by school bus. There it is, school bus. Next, how long does it take me to get to school? I'd say the average for our students is 30 minutes on a bus. Goals for how long do you travel to get to school? So these are ways to improve my carbon footprint. The best way to improve is to not use any gas or a vehicle that required a carbon footprint to create. So this is going to be the best alternative. Taking public transit is a better alternative than driving a single car because you can use the same amount of gas to carry a lot of people. And then driving better so that you don't waste so much gas, that's a good goal too. Okay? How do your parents go to work? Well, I'm going to think that most of my students' parents are going by car. So how long does it take most parents to get to work? I'm going to say an average of 30 minutes. And goals, if we wanted to improve the parents' use of cars, we would try to avoid using air conditioning. And some parents are going to carpool. That's going to help. If you travel outside of your province, state, district, or township, village last month, how did you get there? I think a lot of people probably took a car trip someplace at least once last month. So, how long did it take you? I think most people travel for a couple hours to get somewhere. All right, now we're on to what do we eat? What kind of food do we eat? In my house, we eat everything. My wife's vegan, but sometimes I eat things that are not vegan, so I eat everything. Goals for what kind of food do you eat? I will try to eat less meat. I do that. I'm not going to check into a solar cooker right now, but maybe I'll think about it later on. And buy local or support a local farmers market, especially in these hard times. Local stores need our support. How often do you eat at a fast food restaurant? Oh, I'm eating at a fast food restaurant about twice a week, normally. During COVID-19, I'm not eating at a fast food restaurant at all, but I'm saying normal times, I eat twice a week. So I'm thinking most students do too. Goals. How often do you eat at a fast food restaurant? I will try to eat less fast food, definitely. And purchasing unpackaged and unprocessed food, that's a good thing to do. That's like raw carrots, potatoes, food that you need to cook yourself and process yourself. How much soda pop do you drink? Oh, I would say less than one. Well, I'm pretending I'm one of the students, so I'm going to say 2 cans or bottles a week. How much soda pop do you drink? I'll try to drink less. Next, how many people live in a home? If I'm one of the students, I think most households have about 3 people in them. Does your family have a cottage, weekend, summer house? I would say most students at Prairie Seeds Academy do not. Does your family own a swimming pool? I would say that they probably do not. Do they have a grass lawn? I'm going to say I think most families do. I personally don't. We live in an apartment, but I don't know. Goals for, does your family have a grass lawn that they take care of? I will try to not draw the lawn. That's funny. And using a push mower is just free exercise and it's good for the lawn. So I would try to do that. How does your family heat? How does your family heat your home? Here at the apartment, it's gas, so I think a lot of students have gas. Goals for how does your family heat your home? I will try to adjust the thermostat so I'm not using so much fuel. Um, and checking the furnace filter, that's a good move. That's making sure it's clean and efficient. How often do you shower or take a bath? I know during COVID-19, I'm taking 2, 3 showers a day, but normally it's about once per day. And how often do you take a shower or bath? I will adjust the water heater so I'm not using so much hot water. How many times does your family do laundry each week? I'm guessing most families do laundry twice a week. How does your family wash their clothes? We use top loading here. And I'm going to have to use that. I don't know. How does your family dry their laundry? Oh, we use a clothes dryer. How often do you brush your teeth? I brush my teeth every time before I go out of the house. And that's probably, I know I brush my teeth more than twice a day. How do you leave the tap water on when you brush your teeth? Unfortunately, yes. It takes a long time for it to get warm, so I'm letting it get warm so that I don't have icy water on my teeth. Do you turn off the lights when you leave a room? Almost always, unless I'm going back in that room. What do your light bulbs at home look like? We use LEDs. Which of these do you and your family use for more than 1 hour per day? Oh, we use the computer a lot. We use the refrigerator 24 hours a day. I use the cell phone probably for more than an hour a day. And we use the dishwasher probably. I will try to fill my dishwasher. I always do that. Try to use better appliances. And I'd love to have the TV turned off. How often do your parents get newspapers? I don't know. So I'm going to guess that a lot of parents get once a week. How is your lunch provided? I'm a student, so I have lunch at school on reusable trays. How often do your parents get magazines? I'm going to say at least once a week for most parents. How many 5, 10, 5 kilogram bags of garbage does your family put out each week? We put out 3 or 4, I'm going to guess. What do you and your family recycle? We recycle papers, cardboard, pop soda cans, bottle. We recycle all of these things. Do you compost? Not at my apartment. No. What type of container do you use when you go grocery shopping? We're pretty good. We bring our own reusable bags. Goals. I will try to compost instead of using fertilizer. Well, Prairie Seeds Academy compost their food and compost the food scraps. So that's pretty good. All right. So here's my carbon footprint numbers. And let's see what it says here. It says tons of CO2. So my footprint is 10.3 tons of CO2. My reductions would help by reducing that by 1.08 tons of CO2. And the world average footprint is less than half of my footprint. For me, the total number of earths used is 4.58 and the average person uses 2.17. I'm going to leave that screen. I'm not going to click off of it because I'm going to transfer those numbers to my document now. My carbon footprint is 10.3, so I would type that in, 10.3. And I got that number from right here. So that 10.3 is where I type in it. And how do I compare to other people? My 10.3 is more than double the average. So I would type that in. My 10.3 is more than double the average of others. Next What aspect of your life increases you and your family's footprint the most? Travel. Travel and food. Provide an example of how your carbon footprint affects the environment. This question asks for maybe one of the specific things that you're thinking of that we just answered in this survey. So one of the things that it asked about that kind of stands out to you. For me, I'm thinking about how much we like to use the computer. So the computer uses a lot of energy, and it took a lot of energy to make, and energy creates carbon dioxide, CO2. Define the following terms in your own words. Primary footprint. Well, that's what I create. Talking about the damage. What I create in CO2, what I create CO2. Secondary footprint. The secondary footprint, the goods I use and the CO2 that creates. Okay. The ecological footprint is how much land would it take to create the goods I use. Okay, here's another video. This is a video how to reduce your carbon footprint, and we're going to watch that one now.
How big is your carbon footprint? Let's have a look at a few key things you can do to reduce it. Check out your water, waste, energy, transport, and food consumption to see what contributes to your footprint. Water is fundamentally essential to all life on Earth. But did you know that fresh water is only 3% of the world's water, of which only 0.3% is usable? Shockingly, 95% of all household water is wasted. Your normal shower head wastes 30 liters of water per shower. Change to a water-wise shower head to save water. The average person produces 2 kilograms of waste per day. We need to reduce, reuse, recycle, and upcycle to produce less waste.
I'm stopping the video because I can tell that these are tips I can use to reduce my carbon footprint. So I'm going to go ahead and list them as I'm watching the video, because otherwise I might forget. So the first thing that I can do is change the shower head. The second thing is reuse, recycle. And I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to back it up just a little bit because I think I've missed something.
Use, recycle, and upcycle to produce less waste. Try upcycling to reduce your waste, finding creative ways to reuse your old stuff.
I didn't say upcycle, so I'm going to list that. Upcycle. Upcycle to create new things.
Separate out rubbish into paper, plastic, glass, and metal and recycle them.
Separate before recycling. And I didn't spell separate correctly. Yeah.
Everything we do uses electricity. Your geyser uses a staggering 40% of your household energy. You can dramatically reduce your energy usage by installing a solar geyser.
Install a solar heater.
Day commuting to and from work. What a waste of time and CO2. Don't drive. Take the bus, train, or bike around.
All right, so don't drive. Take the bus, train, or underground.
By taking the train or bus instead of driving your car, you can free yourself to do other things with your time. If you have to drive, try carpooling.
Carpool.
Just as everything you do uses energy and water, so does the food you eat. Food miles is a term which refers to the distance your food is transported from the farm to your plate. Eat local to reduce your food miles.
All right. Eat local to reduce food miles.
Many staple foods, such as meat and cheese, have a higher carbon footprint than others. Going vegetarian for just 1 day a week would save 864 kilograms.
Okay. Go vegetarian at least once a week.
Of CO2 a week and 360,000 liters of water. So, by reducing your water, waste, energy, transport, and food usage habits, you can minimize your carbon footprint. Your small-scale decisions can help shape a more sustainable world for all life on Earth.
Huh. So that means I'm going to have to come up with some ideas that were not in the video. Let me see. I'm thinking about the footprint calculator, and it talked about laundry, and it talked about using dishwasher. So I can use some of those ideas. Pack the dishwasher before running a load. All right. I could pack the wash larger loads of laundry. Not pack it, but wash larger loads of laundry. Okay, that'll work. Step 5, type a 100-word report on how humans affect the environment. So, how humans affect the environment is by using, and I'm going to put ellipses here, but I want you to keep writing. Use that as a sentence starter. Okay. After you answer that, then provide at least 2 examples from the videos of how humans affect the environment. The videos showed that eating, or showed that, and for this you could say how the bread was created, or the bacon in the sandwich. You could say how humans affect the environment with the choices of foods that they eat, the way that they get to work, their driving methods, anything from the videos. You can rewatch the videos to answer this and get 2. So, oh yeah, that's 2 ways. So 2 ways. 2 ways the videos showed are, okay, use that as your sentence starter. Another sentence starter would be, for this one, number 3, what did you learn? I learned that CO2 is created when I, and then keep going. What surprised you? Something that surprised me was, you can go back to the video and see that. And what would you change to help the environment? I would change this to help the environment. Okay. And what you would teach other people. Something I will share with others is, okay. Now, you answered these, and I'm pretty sure you can get to 100 words very easily. Okay, now I have, I'm going to say that this document is complete. What happens when it's complete? Let me show you how to turn this assignment in. I'm going to go back to Google Classroom. Okay, I'm back in Google Classroom, and I'm going to turn in this assignment. So to turn this assignment in, you have to view the assignment. I'm going to check the assignment to make sure that it has my typing on it. Yes, it does. It does, so I can just go ahead and turn that in, just like that. Okay, good luck doing your assignment. The most important thing during this time is that you stay safe and that you enjoy your family and you learn some things. So what I would like you to do is to read something else about ecological footprint. And I want you to think about it and to talk about it with somebody at home. Okay? And if you have no one to talk to about it, then you could post in private comments something that you're thinking about with this. So the point of this is that I want you to read something and write something and speak about it. And I think that's a good way for school to be going right now.